Group 2 and Group 9. Our film is Possession.
I'm Kaya. I'm responsible for author and social content.
I'm Pauline. I'm responsible for character.
I'm Claire. I'm responsible for the plot.
I'm Kelly. I'm responsible for the themes.
I'm Rosie. I'm responsible for symbols.
I'm Jessica. I'm responsible for quotations.
I'm Monica. I'm responsible for other information.
I'm Kevin. I'm responsible for field and Q&A.
Hey.
The first part is author and context, social context. And I'm talking about this author. Her name is Dame Antonia Susan Dolphy, but she is famous for her pen name. It's called As by it, and she was born on August 24th, 1936, and she is 70 years old now. And she is a British novelist and poet. And because this novel, she won the Booker Prize in 1990. It's very important prize for her. And it's adapted novel for movie in 2002. She received highly educated. She was graduated from Cambridge and Oxford. And several years ago, she lectured in University of London. And The Possession is the most well-known work. About her motivation of writing is that when she researched a poet, and she was influenced her writing style. And about her writing style is like comedy and detective story, and the progress is slowly. Social context. Because in this movie there are two stories. One story is in 1890. It's in 19th century, and people believe in love between man and woman. So if you became homosexual, and you will feel shamed, and you love your partner secretly, and this phenomenon is very bad to that time. And another time is in 1990. It's also 20th century. But people didn't believe love between man and woman. And at that time, most society accepted homosexual. And if you were a homosexual, you will feel free. And the environment is open-minded.
I'm going to introduce main characters. And first one is Roland Mitchell. And he is expert in Randall's ash point. And he felt ash is not like an understood woman. He is the man who found the Ash letters in the library, and the letter is written to other women. And because he is an American, and around him are all British, so he thinks himself is a latecomer. And next is Milk Bailey. She is expert on Christabel Lamotte, and she also have relationship with her. She's quite not believe in love because she was have relationship with Fergus, and the man has hurt her, and she is the great granddaughter of May and great niece of Christabel. And next one is Randolph Henry Ashe. He is a famous Victorian poet, and in history, everybody say she is love her wife, but because she wrote many poems to her wife, but actually those poems is written for another woman. And okay, next one. And she is Christabel Lamotte, and she is one of important character. She is never married, and in history they said she is lesbian, but actually she has relationship with Randolph Ashe, and she is the woman who the woman Ashe written the letter to her. And she lived with Sophie. Sophie is her cousin, and she lived with her for the rest of life after Blanche drowned herself. And Blanche is her companion. And this is the scene as Randolph Ashe and Lamotte meet each other. And next, this is Blanche Glover. She is Christabel Lamotte's companion, and she know Christabel and Ashe has contact with each other, and she is really irritated with that. So after Christabel has a baby, and after she found that she drowned herself. This is they live together, the scene they live together. And next one is Ellen Ashe. She is Randolph Ashe's wife, but they have no children in her life. And she got the letter from Lamotte. The letter is talking about they have a daughter, but Lamotte didn't tell Ashe. So she wrote a letter to Ellen. She wished she can give the letter to her, but Ellen didn't give the letter to Ashe. And Barry is with Ashe. And this is the relationship between them. This is Ashe and this is Ellen. They are husband and wife, but Ashe with extramarital relations with Lamotte. And Lamotte and Blanche, they are companion. I have told they was lesbian. And these two, this girl is Ashe and Lamotte's daughter. Thank you.
We have a question, and the question is, what is Randolph Helen Ashe's career in Victorian era?
And now I'm going to introduce the main plot of the film. And the film was combined with two stories, and one happens in the 19th century and another happens in 20th century. And the story began at the library when Roland found some love letter from the famous poet Ashe. But it was all known that Ashe is a faithful husband and wrote many love poems to his wife Ellen Ashe. So Roland think but those letters were not written for his wife, but for another woman. So Roland think that if he could prove that Ash had ever wrote some love letters to other women, that may be an outbreak in the field. So he think if he can prove that, he may get a successful. So he seeks through all the data and found that there was a party in 1859 that Ash joined a party, and there was 3 women in that party, and he thought it was Lamont who was most possible to be the woman. So he came to ask for the doctor Maud Bailey, who was an expert of Lamont. Though Maud Bailey agreed to work with Roland, but she didn't believe that Lamont was a woman. Because on her research, everybody think Lamont was a lesbian. So, but Roland stuck that it would be Lamont. So they came to Maud's old house. The old house, the house once, because you have to know that Bailey was the great daughter of Lamont. So they once lived in one castle. So in this castle, they can find something about Lamont because Lamont once lived here. Yes. So actually, they really find something. They find in a very secret place, and they found those letters, like there. And from the letters, they found that the letters truly can prove that Ash and Lamont have a long time communication through the letters. And from the letters, they truly through the communication of letters, they fell in love with each other. But the letters was just stopped at 1859. On the letters, Ash and Lamont has talked about anything, and they gradually fell in love. Then they decided to have a 4-week journey. That's what Bailey and Roland found. So they decided to come to the same place where Lamont and Ash once come to find more clues to improve that they have truly loved each other. Those are the pictures that show in the movie, and you know the movie was combined with 2 stories, and the 2 stories always happen in the same clue, like that. This is the story in 19th century, and this is the story happens in 20th century, and this is on their way to Yorkshire, where the Lamont and Ash come to have their journey. And here is the important scenery in the movie because it's the waterfall that improve and that make the Bailey finally improve that the Lamont and Ash has fallen in love once before. Yes, and these are the same pictures, just in different time. This is the on the journey. You can imagine that Ash and Lamont have, because it's their love journey, so they may, yes, love and love and love makes compassion, yes, and in the journey, Bailey and Roland want to try to found the proof to prove that Lamont and Ash has once loved in together, and at the same time, there are some strange feelings appeared in between Bailey and Roland. But on the letters, and after the journey, and also through the letters, they can only find that the letter stopped after Ash and Lamont come back from the Yorkshire just after the journey at 1859. Then Lamont disappeared. And what happened? So they want to find more clues. So Bailey and Roland came to a university in France. They want to find more clues, and in here they find another clues. And this last picture is the research from another doctor that wrote to the Furger. Can you see the name Furger? It's a little important character, and they because the letter is not written for them, so when they see the letter and they think, I have no way, only have the way to store it, so they really store this letter. And from the letter they know Lamont disappeared because of he pregnant. Just the journey with Ash. And when Ash know that he was very angry about that, because Ash thought that Lamont has killed their children, and they had an argument. Next. And at the same time, after knowing so much evidence about Lamont and Ash's love story, Bailey and Roland also has an argument, because they found that they have a divergence in their thoughts about love. And from the beginning, we have said that they two are all don't believe in love. So it's maybe a reason that they have the argument. And Bailey was quite sad. And because of that, Roland want to leave England, want to leave the city they live. And before he leave, he wrote a letter to Bailey. And when they leave, he suddenly found that this picture. I just talk about the Furger, and here is those one are the Furgers, and this one is also Bailey's past boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, and who has hurt Bailey. Yes. So he okay. Last. And they are talking about they have found something about the letter, and it's the last letter between Lamont and Ash, and the letter was buried on Ash's camp, 坟墓. So they decided to dig the camp, and Ash was shocked, and she told Bailey about that. Though they will have an argument, they are angry about each other. Yes. And what's the last letter about? And the last letter was written by Lamont to Ellen Ashe, the wife of Ashe. And at that time, Ashe is dying because he is old and he's dying. Yes. And next. So he write those letters, but those letters are beyond the letter. So he wrote a letter that have a letter, and this one is for Ellen, and this one is for Ashe. But the Lamont wrote the letter want to show some truth, say some truth that he never told about. He never told Ashe, and he want Ashe's wife Ellen to convey the letter for her, but actually Ellen just keep the letter and put it on the box and never show it to Ashe until Ashe died. And here is the scene that Fergus are digging the camp, and this one is Roland, this one is Bailey, and these are the other characters. And these are the books after many years ago. And so it's the chance to find the final truth. And the truth is Lamont and Ashe once have a children. And though Ashe think that Lamont killed their children, but actually it's not. Lamont just think that she don't want her children to be Ashe and Ellen's child, because Ellen and Ashe don't have a child. And on this scenery, they have. So Lamont think that even Ashe died, he didn't know that she had a children. But actually, many years ago, when Ashe once came to look for Lamont to get her forgiveness, and at that time he met little children, and this children was her daughter. Yes, and he also wrote a letter to Lamont because he want to get Lamont's forgiveness, and he also know that the truth that Lamont hide. But even the death, Lamont still think that Ashe don't know he have a children. And those are the other characters. This is Blanche, and he finally kill himself because he think Lamont didn't love him anymore. And this is Ellen, the wife of Ashe, and they were think to be the they will think the model household, and actually it's not. Yes, and here is the plot.
And now I'm introducing the themes. The first one is love in possession. Love has different forms, and this is the love between people in 19th century and in the modern people. Next. And between two women, and between a couple with a sexless marriage, and a love from a father to his daughter. Some characters are warmed by love, but others are suffered because of love. and the passion and desire of love can overcome the time and limitations. As we can see, the 2 poets ignore the limitations, falling in love with each other, even though it was not acceptable at that time. And next is sexuality. In the movie, not only love, but also the mystery of human sexuality is mentioned a lot. And love and sexuality are both complex and unpredictable. But at the same time, they are presented in the same patterns by human beings repeatedly throughout the history. And next. The last one is women and femininity. The time background is set between the Victorian era and the modern times, and during each age, women have different burdens and limitations to take, whether it's in the 19th century or in the modern time. We can find in the movie there are women trying to break the burdens, but while there are still women choosing to live within these burdens. So we can say that women's lives, ambitions, and opportunities are shaped by the social circumstances.
Now I'm going to introduce symbols, letter and water. First is letter. After we finish this film, we can conclude the meaning of letter into 5 points. The first one is the change of a written history, because the start of this movie was few pieces of letters found in a book from a library. And with these letters, the history of 2 points are going to change. So it's a transition in the written history. And next is the start of relationship between Roland and Maud. Because Roland and Maud, they are scholars and they are interested in studying poems. And when they go on a trip, their relationship become closer. And the third one is love between Randolph Ashe and Christelle Lamont. The 2 points, they use letters to deliver their love, but actually both of them had a company already, so they use this way to secretly keep in touch. And the next one is inexpressible words. When we are facing people, maybe we have something that cannot come out from our mouth, so we can use this way to write a letter to tell everyone that you're thinking. And the next one is an undelivered message. In this film, Ash asks a little girl. Actually, she is his daughter. He asks her to deliver a letter for her aunt, but because the little girl played with other children, so the letter was gone, and the message still remained a puzzle. Next is water. There is a poem. 3 elements combine to make the fourth, but above the water and the light together made a hollow in the darkened cave. In this poem, I conclude 3 points for the water. The first is the evidence of the love between Roland Ashe and Christelle Lamont. Because the 2 points, they write poems to record their experience and also when they go on a trip together. So we can surely prove that they have loved each other before. And also they have visited the waterfall. And the next one is the bud of love between Roland and Maud. When Maud recites the poem, which I have read for you, she recited this poem, and Roland went down to the water to find the hole. And they are happy because they found this hole, and we can prove that their love is going to grow up. And the last one is the days of love between Blanche and Christophe Lamont. Blanche is Christabel Lamont's lesbian company, and because she knows that Lamont has an affair with Randolph, so she suicide. And next. So in this point, I conclude that the three elements are the love between Ash and his wife. And the second is Christabel Lamont and Blanche. And the third one is Ash and Lamont's love. So the fourth one is Roland and Maud. They are nowadays people. And that's the water and the light together made. I think that it means Ash and Lamont gave birth to a little girl. So the darkened cave means the days of Blanche.
And I'm going to talk about the quotations. This is the point in the beginning scene, and it's from Ash. They said the woman changed, 'tis so, but you are ever constant in your changefulness, like that still free of billowing river, one from source to less embrace. In the still pool ever renewed and ever moving on, from first to last, a myriad water drops. People think Ash is faithful to his wife, but actually this point is for Lamont. And he described the Lamont like a falling river, and metaphor she is the water drops. And it means that she never changed, although she changed all the time. And this is the point in the fighting letter scene. The mouth in the old room she had been when she was little, and she thought of this point, and this point is became the clue to find all the letters. What are they who haunt our dreams and weaken our desires and turn us from a solid face? And in the depth of wintry night, they slumber open-eyed and bright. Though it keeps a secret, safer than a friend, though this silent sympathy lasts without end, no rush of action. This is our doom, to live a long life out in a dark room. The last brief sentence is about the secret love between Lamont and Ash. And this is the important clue in all the movies. And last is the meeting at the station scene. And this is from Ash. He first sight to saw the Lamont. Illuminate as it was flashes of sunlight. I have dreamed nightly of your face and walked the landscape of my life with the rims of your writing ringing in my ears. And this is from Lamont. I shall never forget our shining progress towards one another. Never have I felt such a concentration of my entire being. I cannot let you burn me up, nor can I resist you. No mere human can stand in a fire and not be consumed. And when they are writing letters to each other, they are soulmates and they are doing the soul exchange. But when they saw each other, the points show they have the passion between them.
Introduce more information from this film, and let us see some episodes from this film. It's between Ash and Lamont, and they met at a train station. They are going to their love trip to Yorkshire, and they are on the train. and Lamont said, "I want to be with you. I understand that we have decided. These 4 weeks only are ours, but ours alone." And Ash said, "You take my breath away." And we can see another episode from Mort and Roland. Wait. We shouldn't doing that. I mean, I like you, but I don't want to blow it here. It doesn't to me, honestly. What do you mean by it doesn't matter to you? I'm sorry, maybe just a mistake. And we can see the huge difference from these two couple. And let us make a love comparison. This is the poster of the film, and it was like a piece of paper who was torn by someone into 2 pieces. And this is the present couple. This is the past couple. They are Mort and Roland. They live in 20th centuries in this film, and their social environment is free, but their love is afraid and conservative. And this couple, they were live in the 19th centuries. Their social environment is conservative, but their love is brave and free. And what makes this huge difference like this? Let me figure out the deeper reason. They are the expert on literature. They do a lot of research every day, think of everything every day, and keep coming up a lot of information, a lot of conclusion every day. But this conclusion doesn't make them to trust love, but it makes them to escape from love. They feel they don't trust love. They think love just something doesn't appear in the real world. So they, although their social environment is free, but they are afraid of love. And in contrast, this past couple, they are both poets, so they follow their heart and trust their emotional feelings. Although their social environment is conservative, but they choose to face their love. Especially this female poet. She loves her roommate, who is a woman. But although their social environment doesn't allow this homosexuality exists, but she doesn't afraid. She just chose to love the woman. And later, when she met this male poet, although she is a man who had a wife, but if she loved him, she just chose to go on a trip with him briefly. So that's the love comparison. And the next topic is why the writer chose precision as the book title. The first one is self-precision. Both Mort and Lamort are self-precision. They treat everything as the common things. The second one is their daimonic precision on researching on this mystery from the past. And the next one is their precision that sees all the novel's characters to find the mystery. And also their desire to be the imprecision of love, like Blanche's love to Lamont. Next. Yes, next. So this is the process of her suicide. Go to the river and got a suicide. Yeah. And next one is Lamont's love to their daughter.
because she didn't want Ash to take their daughter away, so she told a lie that Ash is the murderer of their daughter. Yes, that's all of our presentation. Oh, yes, it's question time.
Then we have a question that is, why name possession as the book title? Just say what. No one knows. Yes, yes. This film is show you how the director show you the skill to connect the 1819 and 1919.
Problem?
Is your bathroom? Cupboards?
So one couple goes out, the other couple comes in. The same room.
Is your bathroom? Cupboards?
So this is the skill, filming skill, to combine the two times. Okay.
And this is the end of our presentation. Wow.
Thank you.